Before we get to today's interview, I need to tell you about our show's sponsors. First being Bet Online. It's that time of year again, and all eyes are now turning to football as teams are back on the gridiron to start the football season. As always, Bet Online is your number one spot for all pro and college football action this year. Get all of the updated odds, props, and contests, including online's biggest $500,000 NFL mega contest and the world's largest $200,000 NFL survivor pool. Open now at BetOnline. Head to their website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 100% welcome bonus. Take advantage of their opening day super promo, meaning make a bet on Thursday, September 9th, the season opener between the Super Bowl champion Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. And if you lose, your wager will be refunded up to $25 for new customers only when signing up and using promo code NFL100. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your favorite sports. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Also, exciting news, Believe is partnering with Play Action Pools this season to bring some interactive fun to the sport that we love most. You'll be able to get in on the action with our PlayActionPools.com Football Pick'em Challenge, which is open to everyone. Sign up for our contest, Believe Football Pick'em, at PlayActionPools.com, and then get your picks in each week. We're going to select the 10 highest profile games of the week between the NFL and college football. Whoever gets the most picks correct each week will win a pair of electric sunglasses and a pair of DC shoes. Again, go to PlayActionPools.com and sign up for the contest, Believe, B-L-E-A-V, Football Pick'em. And if you plan on hosting your own football contest, go to PlayActionPools.com today. They've got Survivor, Pick'em, as well as a cool sportsbook-style concept called Build Your Bankroll. PlayActionPools.com, your new home for all of your office sports pools.
Welcome to this Believe in NFL Draft Prospect podcast. It's an interview edition, bringing you another interview with some of the top football players in the entire nation. I have here with me one of the top centers, interior offensive linemen in general, in all of college football. I got here Tulsa starting center for the last 2 years, Gerard Wheeler, joining the show. Gerard, how's everything going for you, man? I really appreciate you hopping on today.
I'm doing good. I appreciate you having me, man. I'm excited.
Absolutely, man. Hey, Gerard, I must tell you, man, even dating back to last summer, I used to get made fun of because I have just been talking up you Tulsa guys for the last couple years, man. I was on Zaven a little bit before most of the scouting community was. I've had Jackson on the show before, Jackson Player, who I'm a big fan of. And Caleb Evans, I had on the show before. Ali Green, I know both those guys, did transfer this offseason, but I've been really high on a lot of the Tulsa players throughout the last couple years. I kind of want to start you off because I went into the recruiting profiles, obviously your career at Tulsa in general, but I wanted to start you out at Plano, Texas. I know, obviously, you went up north a little bit. You crossed over the border, go to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Talk to me a little bit about just your high school career a little bit, the recruiting, and why ultimately Tulsa was the spot that you landed.
For sure. So basically, man, I bounced around everywhere, whatever they needed me. It was a lot of guys that was competing in high school. And originally I was at guard, and we had a tackle go to SMU, and in my senior year, they had bumped me to tackle. Recruiting wise, you got coaches looking at a 6'2", 6'3" tackler. Like, I don't know, we got solid feet out there, but height wise. So ultimately, that's why I had moved into center. Being an interior lineman because of the height aspect of things. I was considered a late bloomer because I wasn't on varsity till my junior year, but I mean everything else for a reason, man. I had a good amount of D1 offers, and Tulsa conference-wise my best one. So ultimately, and that's why I came here. Great school, great education, and a solid program where I knew I was going to be able to play immediately. So it just felt like the best fit for me.
Yeah, and obviously you have found that perfect fit inside at center, like I kind of talked about, and like you kind of talked about. You kind of had experimented in multiple positions. When you first got to Tulsa, was the plan always he's going to be the center for the majority of his career, or were you competing at guard? Like, what was kind of the outlook when you first got to Tulsa?
When I first got to Tulsa, I was at guard, and I even did reps at tackle, center. Really, it was just ultimately like finding where I can get on the field the fastest. The guys prior to me, like Chandler Miller, he still had 2 years when I had got there. So when he left, it really wasn't known at that center spot. And like I said, I was just trying to find my way on the field. So, I had worked every position. So and center just kind of just the one that just stuck with me and became the one that gave me the opportunity. So that's where I had continue to pursue.
Yeah, and I know you kind of got your you kind of got had the weight in the wings a little bit, like you're talking about with the center already in place. But when you finally get on the field in 2019 and you're starting some football games, and obviously the 2020 is the full time starter for the last 2 years, what do you feel like has been the biggest improvements in your game from when you first stepped foot on Tulsa until now?
I guess I would have to say my football IQ. You know what I'm saying? A big part of center is just being able to just see what you're about to get. That's O-line, period. Just looking at the defense, looking at feet, seeing where they're tipping, seeing DBs and walking down, seeing linebackers, either leaning or sitting back in their stance. I guess looking for those giveaways and just, I guess, reading body language and just upping the IQ of where you want to take the ball for running it or where you want the protection to set. So I guess just having that overall IQ of the game, being able to read when the defense is tipping or, if we got a single receiver on the right side, we got two corners over there or a safety in the corner. Okay, one of them might be coming. You know what I'm saying? So I guess just having that understanding of what the defense is bringing and what the offense is doing is the big part of it all.
Mm-hmm. And I know that I'm sure probably a little earlier in your career, you guys had a couple seasons where I'm sure the win-loss record maybe wasn't up to your caliber. But then this year we have a 6-3 season. I know you ended with the bowl loss, very close loss to Mississippi State, which could have went either way with a couple plays here and there. But I know it's still a fantastic season. You took Oklahoma State down to the wire. You took Mississippi State, an SEC team, down to the wire. The 6 wins in a shortened, condensed season. For you, how special was this year, kind of just even with all the uncertainty before the season with COVID-19 and obviously a lot of cancellations for a lot of teams and some teams seasons getting pushed completely. How rewarding was this season just to know that you guys took advantage of what was in front of you to the best of your ability?
It was up and down dealing with COVID, man. You prepare for a team. You prepare for a team on Monday, and then find out Tuesday, Wednesday the game got canceled. So it was some up and downs, but I guess just having an opportunity to still be able to perform, in front of a stage and just do what we love to do. Like I said, like everyone do in the country, you train for 3/4 of the year just to play for 1/4 of the year. So it was good to be able to still perform and still compete. I feel like it was a good stepping stone for Tulsa to let people know that, we're a threat. Definitely, I feel like we could have handled a few games better, even the ones we won, the double overtime against Tulane or, down bad at half against SMU. And just clean up just some stuff, offensive-wise and as a whole team, I feel like that's the next step that we've taken and that we're going to display in this next upcoming year.
And Gerard, I'm sure that you guys are relieved a little bit. You mentioned all the craziness surrounding COVID. Now having what seems like a more normal season in front of you, and I know you just dropped a video today of you joining the 600-pound club in the squats. So I know everything's looks great around the team. I didn't see any masks on. Everybody looked excited. How excited are you personally just to get to what is going to feel like back to the normal?
I'm really excited. I just feel like it's going to give me an opportunity to really lock in. Like I said, you'd be hesitant at times. You're like, I don't know if we're going to play them guys until about Wednesday, Thursday. So I guess just having the relief that I can, put my focus into just the game versus COVID and testing and all that stuff. Got majority of guys vaccinated now, and cross country that's kind of like what's the trend and what's going on. So I feel like just being able just to worry about that instead of worrying about COVID. Every time you travel, it makes it easier on you as a player. You just that extra thought that you would have put to COVID, you could put that to, watching more film or analyzing your opponent more or just going over stuff with your teammates, just to make sure that you have an understanding of what the assignment is for the game and we're on the same page. So I feel like it just helps us lock in more to what's in front of us instead of everything going on around us instead.
Mm-hmm. A perfect segue to my next question. You're fantastic. So, you just mentioned watching film a lot, and I know as a center, you're watching a ton of things, and you're obviously the communicator up front. I want to ask you from an individual perspective, though, whether it could be growing up or now, are there some football players that you love to watch in the NFL, some centers, maybe some offensive linemen in general, that you try to model your game after a little bit?
Yeah, growing up, I was really more I like basketball more, to be honest. You know, I can go to the
Okay.
50s back when it comes to talking about basketball. But, you know, expanding my IQ with football and just, like I said, being a player and learning to watch guys. I mean, I watch more, you know, like I said, I'm a guy, so I can play center, guard, or whatever, tackle if you need me to. So I watch, you know, teams as a whole. Watching the Buccaneers play, the O line for them, I feel like they just move as a unit. You know, they got a great center over there. Um, the Steelers, the Cowboys, I feel like they got great communication. You know, Cowboys had a lot of injuries, you know, recently, but I feel like as hard, I feel like their group has a good like understanding of who's done what. You know, give a name, I guess, Quentin Nelson, just because he's just so nasty, and he also just kind of, you know, puts it all out there. You know, he's himself and he's just a beast out there. So I guess just seeing how dominant he is for an interior lineman, you know, when he's pulling, if that's just, you know, working through the zone and climb to the next level, I feel like those is like guys you want to look at, you know. And we talk about pass protection, you know, Tyron Smith. Like I said, back when I was playing tackle in high school, I watched him, and the guy, you know, he's just a freak athlete, long arms, great size, and just to see him on the edge going against guys, you know, just sitting guys down. That's what you want to do in the pass protection. So I guess taking a little bit of everybody's game and putting into one is kind of like how I like look at things and take things from everyone else's game, put it into one, try to make it my own.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know the versatility aspect, Gerard, because you are a guy that I do think can play guard and center at the next level, and that versatility is going to go a long way for you making that jump. But I want to pivot real quick to basketball since you mentioned it for a second, man. Can I get a favorite player, then maybe a prediction of the finals this year?
So I mean, favorite player. I mean,
it could be ever too. It doesn't have to be just now. I'll open it up a little bit.
Well, I'm original Chicago, so when I first started watching basketball, you know, Derrick Rose was my favorite, but he messed up his knee, and then my favorite player was DeMarcus Cousins. You know, he's a big man. He had you know, good presence. You know, he was kind of a hothead, but I felt like it was just because his passion. And then he got hurt too, so I decided let me just be a fan and not pick players. I just felt like I had a little bad luck. But yeah, besides those two, I mean, right now I feel like the Suns have a good chance just because they're playing well as a team. They're playing together. I feel like they got a good balance of young and old players. You know, Chris Paul being such a great leader. And, you know, Devin Booker just kind of just learning and just being himself. You got guys stepping up like DeAndre Ayton. So, yeah, it's fun watching, actually, you know, to see different teams. It's great to see LeBron and Curry and KD and those guys, but it's kind of fun to see a different, you know, group of guys. You know, the Hawks got a chance to make it to the finals, so it's fun. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, I was very hesitant on the Suns, man. Before the playoffs started, I'm like, yeah, that's a nice story, but I don't think they're going to be able to, you know, make the run to the finals. And then they just keep obviously proving people wrong. And another perfect segue. You are a fantastic interview. Let me tell you, Chris Paul. You just mentioned him. Who's your teammate? Right tackle, Chris Paul. We got Tyler Smith at left tackle. Some fantastic football players, man. Talk to me about that unit, because I don't think enough people understand the talent that is on this Tulsa offensive line coming back.
Man, I just feel like it just start with the room. I feel like as a whole, we got a lot of guys that's competing, man, and I feel like that's what keeps us great. You know, we got freshmen like Dylan Wade, Jaden Muskrat, Gabe Cantu. You know, Gabe, he plays center. He's a freshman, man. He keeps me on my toes because he just has a nasty. You know, he's really raw right now, but he just has a nasty mentality. And then you got Jaden, who got some reps in due to, you know, Chris Paul having a couple injuries here and there, but it was just good to see him get out there and get some experience. And not even going that far back, just right behind us, you know, we got Xavier Gatlin, who, you know, he could play center, guard, tackle. You know, we got a transfer with Bryce Bray. You know, he got a guy with a lot of potential. We're trying to figure out how to get him in there if we can. But, you know, I just feel like the front group with me, as of right now, me, Chris Paul, Tyler Smith, Dylan Couch, and Dante, I feel like we just got to understand it. And I feel like as a leader, as an offensive lineman, I have to understand my guys better too. You know, the way I talk to Couch is different. My right guard is different. I talk to Dante, my left guard. And same thing with Tyler and Chris Paul. And I feel like once we all kind of got that balance for each other and learn how to kind of bring the personalities together, that's what made us better, you know what I'm saying, communication-wise, because we were able to talk across the board and have an understanding of, you know, how the guy next to us is going to do this play, or how if it's pass protection, if he's going to, you know, he's the guy that's going to come chip more often than others, he going to come help, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I guess just having that understanding and that balance of each other just helps us play better as a unit.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure another way that you guys are obviously rounding out your game is, I mean, the defensive talent that you guys see every day in practice. Like it's a big moniker. It's a really cliche thing to say, like, and coaches say it all the time. The best defense we're going to see is the defense we see every day. But it might actually be for you guys because we're talking, I mean, first-round pick Zayvon Collins last year. I talked about Ali Green and Caleb Evans, who unfortunately did transfer this offseason. But you still have guys like Jackson Player, who's a stud, Cullen Wick. We got the linebackers that are coming back. You have Tyrese Stevenson at nose tackle, which I'm sure that you see a decent amount in practice. How special is that unit, and how much do they help you become the player that you are now?
Man, they definitely. I feel like that's the reason, like, why they're so great, and why we're so great, man. Because every day we battling. I'm going when I got to block back on the end. I'm going against probably one of the strongest guys in our conference, and Cullen Wick. Having to drive, having to do ISO blocks where I got to come off the ball and block Big Cat, Tyrese, and then, Jackson, he's very explosive, man. So, yeah, going against guys like that and even the younger guys like Goodlow and Devin Lamp and Big E Everett, man. It's just going against those guys, man. They make you turn your game up, man. It's never a day in practice where you can settle because, you get exposed. So, I feel like just having that, and we talk, but it's all, love. We all got love for each other, man. The trenches is the trenches, but having that competition every day, it only gets you better. And, when you go against 350 plus, and then, guys like Jackson Player, like I said, it makes the game easier, especially. And then even with the linebackers, too, just talking about the whole box. Yeah, of course. I mean, me and Zay was in the same class together. Me and him butt heads and, like, in practice, literally butt heads a lot, and that was good, though, going against guys of that talent, that caliber. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what makes us what we are, really.
Absolutely. And I know you kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier, Gerard. It's just like, you guys showed this past season, that Tulsa's not, Tulsa's here, man. Like, we could play some football. We could compete against anybody. Now going into 2021, your final year, what are some things that you want to accomplish from a team and individual perspective? What's going to leave off your career on the perfect end?
Well, I mean, the team's doing good, and I must be doing something good. So I feel like if we just come together as a whole, you know what I'm saying, just tying up a few areas that I was going to film, I feel like we're going to have a great year. Up front, I just have the most confidence in us. I feel like, it's going to be a great competition for our preseason and our in-season conference games. I mean, we got some talented guys that we're going to be going against, but I feel like I said, we played at that competition. So I feel like the better competition, the better we play. Cause I feel like that's just the standard we have in our room. So, I mean, I just feel like it's gonna be interesting. I mean, we're definitely working hard. They got our strength coach, Eric Anthony. He got us lifting 5 times a week. I feel like I'm probably the strongest I've ever been. I feel like everyone can say the same. So, I mean, we're just working, man. We're just preparing. We're gonna take this little time to rest and get our bodies right. But once we get back from this little drive. July break, our heads are down and we're ready to go at that point.
I love it, man. And last question I have for you, Gerard, is obviously I want to highlight you as not only one of the best football players at your position coming back to college, but I also believe that you're a guy this time next year could be in an NFL camp. I think that you definitely have that potential to potentially be drafted. So kind of looking forward a little bit. One, when did this dream of playing in the NFL begin? Because I know you're a Texas kid, so I know it probably started very young. But how long has that been a dream? And number 2, how much of a blessing would it be just knowing several months from now that could be a reality for you?
I mean, in honesty of things, playing football in high school, it was challenging at first. My coach, Coach Richardson, he was on my butt every day. And I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to do this. But when I realized the benefit it could bring to me, like, paying for school, being able to get a free education, especially like now from the University of Tulsa, honestly, that's something I wouldn't be able to do if I didn't have the game of football, in my back pocket. So I guess just understanding what the game could do for me and what I could do for the game is what keeps me going. And kind of taking that mentality, but more in a mature way, I guess now is like, man, this could really set me up for, when I want to bring a family to this world, putting them in the right steps and having them putting them ahead of, put them in a better spot than I was. And like I said, it wasn't that bad, but just, you want to go hard for your kids. And I'm a family person. So just being able to have the opportunity to give back to my parents who didn't sacrifice a lot for me to be great and get to this point would be amazing. To be able to support, like I said, my future wife and kids that I plan to create and, mate with, would be a blessing. So I guess just looking at how financially this could help me. But I mean, what I can give to football though is just you gonna get a leader out of me. I'm gonna give you everything I got, and I feel like I can say that with everything. I can say that with confidence. That I'm gonna give you everything that you gonna need. I'm a guy who can talk to anybody really, from special teams to DBs. And, I feel like I'm always dapping everybody up, saying what's up. And I want to be that guy because I feel like, when you kind of, like I said, offensive line is a team in its own. But when you kind of stay in your own circle, you can be stagnant. So being able just to open up to other people and, expanding yourself is just great. So I feel like that's the best opportunity I can get from all this. So that's why I'm sticking to it. And, that's why I play the game I play.
I love it. So, again, if you liked what you saw from Tulsa football last year, get ready for the encore this year. The encore in the last season for Gerard Wheeler, starting center for the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. Gerard, this was fantastic, man. I appreciate you so much. Flexibility, being able to jump on here to give us an outlook into your career, man. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you for having me, man. Thank you.